Welcome to Scaling with Purpose, the show where we explore what it takes to build companies that aim for commercial success and meaningful impact. I'm joined today by Tope Akande, founder of Buckstrybe. Great to have you here.
Thank you very much, Mohamed. It's a pleasure to be here. And great work you guys are doing with Wise Mind. And I look forward to the conversation. Thank you.
Lovely. Welcome. So, before we get into the story of Buckstrybe, I'm I want to ask you a question that I ask most founders on this podcast.
Yeah.
What is the most important lesson you have learned on your journey here?
All right. Thank you very much, Mohamed, for that question. The most important lesson that I've learned in my journey here is distribution is king. Like distribution is king. Yeah, it's fine that you have an idea. It's fine that you've been able to recognize a gap. It's fine that you've been able to identify the need. You've been able to identify a problem and you are offering a solution, right, to the problem. So when you're offering a solution to a problem, is your own approach towards solving that problem. That is the solution, right? Like there's a problem, but there's a way you think about this is the way I feel that I believe that we should solve this problem. Do you understand? Right. So everything is in your head as a founder. You're trying to like think about different moving parts to make that happen. But you providing that solution does not is not complete until the people or the user that you are providing the solution for can get it in their hands, use it, and most importantly, pay for it, right? That is when the whole business circle is complete, right? So now in the age of AI that we are now, building those kind of solutions is very very easy, or is way easier than it was a few years
Yeah,
ago,
yeah, definitely.
right? And now the most important lesson for me now that I've learned and I'm still learning is that distribution is key. How can you place your product or your solution in the hands of people that want it or that needs it or that needs to use it? You understand? That is very, very, very important. And if you look at the big businesses that we have now, Microsoft has hacked the distribution such that even when Dell or HP creates like a system or a computer, they still need Microsoft software, right, on that particular system and software. You understand? So and if you see the way Apple is going about their distribution, they are big on consumer items, right? And they've built an ecosystem such that when you get the iPhone, you want to get the tab, you want to get the iPad, you want to get the Mac, you want to get the Google Watch. You
Yeah.
understand? So and that is a form of distribution. You understand? They have the problem, the solution, but they have to turn their users to their whole, like maybe they are fan or someone that want to use it. Do you understand? That is a form of distribution. Microsoft, on the other hand, is going B2B. It has deals with businesses, big companies, right? So that all their staffs, like for example, Microsoft is going to sign a deal with companies like maybe Barclays, big, so that all their staffs can use Teams, they can use emails and all of those things. So distribution is basically key, and that's like the most important lesson I've learned in my journey, and is a lesson I'm still learning till today.
Yeah, beautiful. You know, what's very funny, I've heard someone say fire was invented far before the first person that we know has started using it.
Hmm.
So, and also with electricity, electricity was probably invented much longer before the world knew about it, right?
Exactly.
So the
Yeah.
person the world thinks invented electricity is not the first person that really brought this solution to the world,
Hmm.
but it's the first person that understood how to distribute it correctly.
Exactly. That that
Yeah.
that that is key, and that's very very important. So that's the lesson I'm learning. I've not stopped learning it. Right. Currently, there's a product I'm building, or there's a work we are doing on Buckstrybe, and the distribution part has been something that's really been key and important. So that's just the way to go.
Yeah, lovely,
Yeah,
lovely. That's a very important lesson, and maybe good to go a little bit deeper later on it.
that's fine.
But first, I want to ask more about your journey, how you
Okay.
started.
Okay.
So I'm very curious because every idea has a beginning somewhere. So, as a young boy in the UK, I think, what made you think this is the right thing to do?
All right. All right.
What was
Thank you.
the trigger for you
All
to
right.
start Buckstrybe?
All right. Thank you very much, Mohammed. I'm going to say a bit about my story. I grew up in Nigeria, right, and just got into the UK about 4 years ago. Yeah, about 4 years ago. So I just got into the UK about 4 years ago. So when you grow up in a developing country like Nigeria, like there's problems everywhere. You
Yeah,
understand?
yeah,
There's problems everywhere because a lot of things don't like are not currently working as it's meant to work. You understand? So I've been like I've faced different challenges growing up and all of those things. So, and to be sincere, I think I was able to identify that there's an entrepreneur part of me as early as 2016. I think I was about 23 or 24, thereabout, as I then when I was working in a bank or like I was working in a big mall, right, in Nigeria, and then I just thought about it that like there's a lot of people that comes to this particular place, and I believe that my money or like I can create a service for them that they can pay for, and it's going to be a win-win for me, right? So that was when it actually really started. So I started paying attention to my environment. I think that's the first time we need to start. I started paying attention to my environment. What is it that people don't think that they need, but they actually need?
yeah,
Right. What is the thing that people actually need and they talk about? That sometimes I was able to identify that sometimes people don't actually really know what they need until you show them.
yeah,
Yes, I need
yeah.
this. You understand? So
That's
I
it.
just started paying attention to things like that, trying to understand my environment more, trying to ask more questions. Naturally, I'm a very inquisitive person. I ask questions a lot. I'll ask questions. If I meet you for the first time, I want to know about you. I ask you questions based on what you are doing, and also that's what I was doing. Then I was able to just create a value. I created like a recreation center at the mall right there in I think 2017, and I made like I think it cost me about 100,000 to start then, and I made that money just in the first month of starting the business, basically, right? So that was how the whole like entrepreneurship side of me really started. I'm like, oh, okay, this makes sense. I had to hire somebody to stay there, so I learned about hiring, what I'm supposed to look out for at that like quite early stage at 23, right? So that was what started for me. So I started like that. Then the following year, I did another type of business. But in the midst of that, I've always wanted a business without walls, like there's no
Mhm.
brick and mortar, right? So
Oh yeah,
I'd always wanted to have a digital business. So I knew right from time that like I was going to do this. So that was by design. And my career, I have been working in the bank for about 10 years, right? Worked in the bank in Nigeria. When I got here in the UK, work in the bank also. So financial services is my bread and butter, especially consumer, the retail part of financial services or the retail part of banking. I interact with customers daily. I understand their pain point. I see some things that that they need or they are suffering for that the big banks cannot provide solution to. Right. That was where Boxstripe started. Like, interacting with customers. I was in customer service, interacting with them on a daily basis. I just realized that okay, when I got to the UK, started working with the bank, I realized that okay, a lot of people come into the bank to request for loans, and if three people come into the bank to request for loan, two and a half or sometimes three of them are immigrants.
yeah,
Like, like that
yeah.
that is what we I observed. I'm like, okay, so what is really happening? I was able to identify. Remember, I said I started by observing my environment, understanding what people need. So that was the same principle that I used, and I started asking questions. I'm like, okay, what is it that like why is this like this? You understand? So that was how it started for me. And before I left Nigeria, I started Buckstrybe, but it was the way the focus of the business was a bit different, right? So it was the same principle of me identifying that there's a problem that people have and how I can like provide solution to it. So that's how Buckstrybe started. So when I got to the UK, I realized that oh, okay, this problem also exists, and the immigrants that we have here in the UK, especially Asians and African immigrants, there are some financial transactions that they do that is similar to their communities, within the communities. I think I've explained it before when some people call it committee. People call it different names in different countries. In Nigeria, they call it Ajo, they call it Esusu, they call it committee. I think in North Africa or Eastern Africa is when group of people come together and then they make contribution into a pool of funds, and then they will give one person in the first month, second month, third month,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they go like
Yeah.
that. Everybody gets it. So we're able to like, okay, this is a process that people do, and the immigrants that do this, even here in the UK, it shows that they are creditworthy, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a mutual trust
Yeah.
within the community and they do it. I'm like, okay, but the UK Financial Services does not recognize this. And that's where we decided to do something about it. Like, okay, we can turn this around. We can make this age-long process whereby people use mutual trust to raise funds and then for people in the community, and turn it to something that the financial services or the financial service system in the UK can recognize. So that was how Buckstrybe like actually really started, and that's what we'll be doing majorly ever since then. So the basic principle for me is ability for me to be able to identify gaps within like the systems that I'm exposed to, and then because I have an entrepreneurial spirit, I just decide to do something about it. And when I think about doing something about it, I go digital first. You understand? So
Oh, yeah.
how can
Sure.
how can I digitalize this process and all? So yeah, that's
Yeah.
how it started
Interesting.
for me.
Yeah, I have two things that I want to go deeper about. So the first thing is you're making a great point here. So the financial services or banks in general, the traditional banking system
Mm-hmm,
looks at people as individuals,
mm-hmm,
whereas you're saying that you are seeing some kind of pattern where people act as a community or a
mm-hmm,
group.
mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm.
whereas the normal traditional banks will try to assess your financial situation and your credit score as an individual,
Mhm,
you are saying we need to change that pattern.
mhm,
We should have a paradigm shift and
mhm,
look at people as groups and also assess their trustworthiness as groups,
mhm.
individuals, instead of looking at a single individual.
Okay.
Am I summarizing that correctly?
Yes, yes, but this is how I look at it, right? For financial services, we cannot take away the individuality, right? Because financial services, we have to do a lot of KYC, know your customer, we have to do a lot of anti-money laundering checks, fraud checks, and all of those things, right? As much as we want to make it easy for people to maybe get loans or get credit, we need to also ensure that they are safe. And then people are not trying to scam the bank or not trying to scam like or defraud the bank like by claiming who they are not, so that to be able to get something from the bank. So yes,
And
we
also
can't.
also protecting them, right? Because if
Exactly.
they overlend, they will get into some crazy financial situation, and who will help them get out of that situation, right?
Exactly. So as much as we want to bank people based on community, we can't take away the individuality, right? So what's we the approach that we are looking at or that we are working on that we are doing is, and when you see people as individuals, we should not take out what they do within the community.
Hmm.
That's what the bank does.
Hmm.
They take out what those
Yeah.
individuals do within the community,
Yeah.
right? And if you are very familiar with credit unions and cooperatives, right?
Yeah.
Those are like informal or very small large
Yeah.
group of banking or financial service that people do based on the trust that they have within themselves. You understand? Like maybe 10, 20 people we say, oh, maybe they attend the same religious center, maybe they're Christian or a Muslim,
Yeah.
or maybe all of them they are all Uber drivers. They work in the same maybe bus stop or station, so they know themselves, and then they now come together and decide to start making payments or contribution together into a mutual fund, right? Into a mutual pot, right?
Mhm.
Those type of transactions, they speak to individual credibility. You understand? So for people to like 10 or 20 people come together, that means they trust themselves and they've been making those kind of payments on a monthly basis, some people on a weekly basis, right?
Yeah.
So those type of transactions that happen within those kind of community is
Mhm.
what we are saying that banks should not throw away it, or banks
Yeah.
should also consider it, because they help them to be able to unlock new customers and understand how those particular people are doing their own transactions and financial services basically.
Yeah, interesting. So, as you grew up in Nigeria, I know financial inclusion is a thing there, right?
Mhm.
So, how did that help you in your journey, like to identify this missing piece actually in the UK banking sector?
That is the core or foundation of that. Like growing up in Nigeria, seeing things like you mentioned, like I would say maybe 80% of Nigerians are financially excluded, because like we might have like there's a lot of differences in the way the banking system and financial services is in Nigeria and the UK. You understand? So for somebody that has been exposed to that for like 28 or 27, 29 years of his life, now moving to a more developed system or country, what I've learned or what I know has formed the foundation of building what I'm building here in the UK. Because I realize that now, let me, you know, when you're in Nigeria, it's very difficult for you to see, to understand that you are financially excluded, because a lot of people are financially excluded in Nigeria. So
It's the
you
norm. It's the norm. Yeah.
you understand, is it no? So now, thank you. You understand. So you may not really know. So now, living in Nigeria and coming to a place like this, that's when you now like, ooh, you now understand that like that I cannot access some things that an average person here can access. You
Yeah.
understand? So now, and so the experiences that I've had, and also like I mentioned I worked in the bank in Nigeria for like over 6 years. So I lived it. I helped people, other consumers or customers, get financial solutions, or so all those experiences formed the way I see things here in the UK. I'm like, okay, so now I can see that a lot, not just me, like thousands or millions of people, right, that are here that have been in similar countries, India, Pakistan, Nigeria, South Africa, Zambia, and all of those, Zimbabwe. Those are like they have similar financial
Yeah.
services like system. You understand? I'm like, okay, now it's a big problem by the time you get to a developed country, right?
Yeah.
Like in the UK. So because of what I've experienced, it just made me I was able to think from the shoes or from the point of people like me here in the UK, you understand?
Yeah.
So that growing up in Nigeria, working in Nigeria formed the basis of my approach towards solving this problem in the UK.
Yeah, interesting. So you have some kind of outside view.
Yes.
You're already looking outside from outside the box, and then you
Mm-hmm.
come in the box.
Mm-hmm.
In the UK, that is very institutionalized, just like all of Western Europe, let's say. Um, and then you see opportunities, I
Mm-hmm.
think, and that gives you a very interesting competitive edge.
Exactly. That's the word. I see opportunities. I don't see
Yeah,
problem. I think yeah,
exactly.
that is a core value that I live with. I see opportunities. I don't see problem. Like okay, yeah, this is a problem. Like this is a problem, but the way I see it, the way I understand it, the way I approach it is this is an opportunity for us to like okay, turn this around and make these people more visible to lenders here in the UK. Yeah,
Yeah, beautiful. And you also enable financial institutes to see those people. So
exactly.
it's also a win-win, right?
Thank
So
you.
and a lot of people see inclusion in general as something like we're helping the poor, or we give free money, or it's a charity. It's
Hmm.
actually not. You
Hmm.
are enhancing a business model, an existing business model.
Hmm.
You are adding customers
Hmm.
to an institute
Hmm.
that needs them, right? I
Yes.
mean, who says no to extra customers that fits in your
Nobody.
into your model?
Exactly. I like the fact that Mohammed, it's obvious that you've done a lot of research and you understand our approach and what we are trying to do. So basically, when these customers are into the system and then we're able to bring them in, is more customers for financial services and also it's basically we are doing the dirty work. You understand of making sure that these people are fit into the financial service system, and then we make them visible to the lenders of and then lenders will be able to have access to more customers. So we are like a bridge between
Yeah,
those set of people. Yeah,
yeah,
spot on.
beautiful,
Yeah, yeah.
beautiful. So I just noticed you said I didn't want to do brick and mortar. Uh, what was the reason? I'm very curious.
Okay. So the reason I think maybe quite early, I knew that I was going to. I've always had a global mindset. Like I've always had a global mindset. There was a time I used to call myself. I even some of my friends used to call me Tope Akande Global, TAG. Topak. So I've always had a global mindset. Yeah, I grew up in Nigeria, like all of those things. I just really knew that I was going to do something that's going to be global. So like from that early stage, in my early 20s, I've always like, okay, I can't, and that's one. Then also maybe because I work in the bank while I was in Nigeria, because I knew that Monday to Friday, I work 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 or 9 to 7 sometimes. So I don't really have time to be able to have a brick and mortar that I can be checking and all, but I can easily do it maybe if I have a laptop or my phone and just follow what is actually really happening. So those are the two major things that formed that consciousness. I've always knew that I was going to build a product that almost everybody is going to like use or want to like and all. And so I knew having a brick and mortar business was not going to do it for me. You understand? And then scaling that can be a bit difficult. You need manpower. You need to be chasing suppliers, chain deals, and all of those things. So it's difficult. Like, but as at then, I could see Uber. Uber did not have any single taxi, but they
Yeah.
were making they were making a lot of money just providing that kind of service. So I think right from time it has built that consciousness with me that like, okay, I really don't want to box myself. Right, we can build something from anywhere and have global reach in what we are doing. So yeah, that I think that has really been my mindset or my thought process right from a very early stage.
Yeah, so you didn't want to be pinned to a certain location,
Exactly, exactly,
certain assets, and those type of things. Uh,
exactly.
then you had this idea.
Hmm.
Boom, eureka! This is what I wanted to do.
Hmm.
How did you proceed from there? How did you find the team to execute on it? I guess you're not a tech guy.
Yeah.
You're coming from a financial background.
Hmm.
How did that look like? What were your first challenges there?
All right. So I think let me put it this way. Before I started Buckstrybe, I tried to do a bit of from digital solutions. The first thing I tried my hands on was an event ticketing company.
Okay.
I call it event timeline, but that's it. I was not able to go live with that. And the idea for event timeline was very simple. Build a ticketing platform that people can host their event, get tickets, and then the unique selling point then was to have a cloud service that anybody that comes to the event can take a picture and
Mhm.
upload to the cloud. Right.
Ah,
So let's say 50 people come to the event, they take the picture with their phones and then
yeah,
automatically just upload it to the cloud.
yeah,
So other people can have like it's going to be like a picture sharing in the cloud. So
yeah,
so
yeah,
far you
yeah,
have the tickets, even if you don't have like maybe a phone or you don't have there are some pictures that was taken that you don't have access to, or maybe the official photographer of that particular
yeah,
event takes all the pictures and just upload it to the cloud, right? So everybody that attended that event can easily put in their ticket number or ticket ID and have access to those
yeah,
pictures. So you can download it on your phone and like so that was the unique selling point that I wanted to do with event timeline. So a ticketing platform where you can host event and then
right.
you can actually host or like a cloud service that you can put in your pictures and then people can after the event can have access to the picture sharing and all. So what I did then, like when I wanted to, because like you said, I'm not technical, but I had a friend that was a lecturer in the university in the city that I was living. So that
Mm.
friend was like, I think he was a lecturer in computer science or information science. And also, I reached out to him that I needed a student, maybe in their semi-final year or final
Right.
year, that can code, right? That we can work on a project together. So basically, when I think about ideas, I look at my inner circle, my circle, and
Right.
start thinking about, okay, who can I talk to? Who can I speak to? And all, and I'm a very religious person. I pray to God that, okay, can you direct me? What can I speak to? How do I go about stuff like this? So that was what I did for that. So my friend, because the lecturer just connected me to one of his students that writes codes.
Oh yeah.
right? So that was how we did the first one, but we could not go live with it. So I was just paying, giving him stipends and all. So for Buckstrybe, same thing. I stay in this table. I'm like, okay, there's the solution in mind. One thing I try to do, not I try to do that I do always is I make sure that my idea is clear.
Hmm.
There's I need there's clarity. I get clarity about the solution before
Yeah.
even talking to anybody or trying to
Yeah.
look for set up a team. I need clarity because
Yeah.
the way I see it is anybody that comes on board to what we are building, they need to believe in it. They need to understand the value in it. They need to see what the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. So it needs to be clear. So I get clarity of thought, clarity of vision. This is what we want to do. This is where we are going to. You get so once I do that, once I have that, so selling it to anybody is easy. So the first people I try to sell it to is the technical guy, right? So there was like for the box tribe, there I was a friend of mine, just somebody I've known for a long time. I just reached out to her that like, okay, hi, how are you? Do you know any technical person that can work on a project? And she goes, oh yeah, I know somebody that well, we worked together on a project before and he was really a cool person. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. Can you talk to the person? Can I talk to the person about something I'm trying to work on? If they're interested in, then maybe we can work on it together. She said, oh yeah, shoot. So she speaks to my CTO, and then they're like, okay, he's interested, let's have a conversation. So because there's clarity of
Yeah.
vision from my hand. So selling it to my CTO was quite easy.
Yeah.
This is what I'm trying to do. This is the problem. This is the gap I'm trying to fill. This is how I'm thinking we are going to make money. This is how we are going to go about it. I've registered the complaint. I've done this. I've done that. I've done this.
Yeah.
So every other thing that does not really involve technicality, I do it. I used to say that anything that does not involve maybe big money or does not involve me to raise, I do it. I'm
Yeah.
the kind of person that I prepare for opportunities,
Yeah.
right? So I do things that I need to do, waiting for that opportunity to come. So when it comes, it's just going to be plug and play. So clarity of thought, clarity of vision, do my own assignment, do what I need to do, and then I send it to my technical person, my CTO, that like, okay, this is what we are trying to do. This is where you come in. This is what I'm proposing. This is how we are going to do the shares and all of those. So and then he believed in it, like, and that is easy to work with somebody that believes in what you are doing.
Exactly.
Exactly. So that's the first thing I try to do. Like, so once I do that, then that's fine. Then he comes in, he brings his own people. He's a more technical, so he knows more technical, and so anything about the technical hiring, I leave it to him. He does it. He do this. He does the architecture and all. So anytime you are bringing anybody in, I make it a point of duty to have conversations with them. Like I share the vision with them. This is what we are building. This is why we are building it. This is why I needed to do this. So I make it clear from day one, day zero, and then I reiterate it like, okay, um, my strength is the financial services. So I prep myself to answer all their questions. Oh, Tokwe, what of this? This does not work. Can we do it this way? No, this cannot work this way because my own experience in financial service is clear. They can see that Tokwe knows what he's doing. He
Yeah.
understands. So
You
it's
have a clear
easy.
vision.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if really, even if they have issues, it comes back to them like, oh no, we can't do it like this. Let's do it like this. Let's try this. Let's try this. So they know that they just need to bother with writing those codes. And also, once I do that, my partner, she's into marketing. I said I told her about okay, this is what we are trying to do. Then she visually focuses on the marketing part. So I don't micromanage, right? Once I bring you in, I follow your leading. Like I just share the vision with you, and because I believe I can't do what you are doing.
Yeah.
So I bring
Yeah.
someone that is smarter than me in that area, bring you in to do it. So I follow your leading, I follow your advice, I take ownership and accountability. Okay, is this what you believe we need to do? I'm trusting you. Like so, I give them that sense of responsibility to make
Yeah.
decisions and all. So that is how it has actually really worked for me. Anybody that is coming, I sell the vision to them. I make because the vision is clear to me. Once they believe in it and then they are fine with remuneration, then we can work together.
Yeah. Beautiful. So yeah, it's like a chapter of a book almost. I don't know if you know Who Not How. It's a great book, by the way.
Okay.
And this writer, he's one of the most well-known mentors of business mentors in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "I do only one thing. Whenever I have a challenge or whenever I have an idea, the first thing I try to think of is who can help me tackle this challenge instead of how. how can I write the code? No. Instead of asking that question, I ask myself, okay, who
Mm.
can help me write the code? Who can help me do the marketing? And then he says, whenever you do that, you bring people that are better than you in that specific area. And what happens is they open new doors for you, things that you could not have seen. They are seeing them because it's their territorium, right?
Exactly,
Uh,
exactly.
and they can multiply. They can bring a multiplier to your business if you
Exactly.
bring them in.
Exactly, exactly. That I think what you just said, that's what I do majorly, right? Okay, who can do this? I don't know how to do this. Who can do this? But before I get there, I know what I can do.
Exactly.
You are like, it's clear. I know what I can do. I know my experience. I know financial services. Understanding the pain point, I understand it clearly. So that is my part. Then also, I'm really big on business strategy, thinking about, I can map out a vision. Like, okay, this is what we are going to do. This is what we are going to do next. This is what we are going to. That is unique to me. You understand? I have this ability to be able to expand on ideas. If you give me a little idea, I can make it bigger, right? I think about the distribution. I think about how we are going to sell it and all. So that is my strength, right? So I make sure that I keep working on that. I know that. So anytime I'm speaking to you, like, okay, telling you a technical person, you part of the thing that convinces you is you being certain that I know what I'm doing. People don't want to go in blindly with exactly. So I work on that. So once I can convince you, you know that this guy knows what he's doing. It's always very, very easy. It's very easy to actually pick it up from there. So that's how it works. So the chapter that you just quoted is spot on, right? You have an idea, you make it clear, you understand what you want to go about it, and how you want to get there. Then you now speak to look for who that can actually really work it. And then once your values align, then you guys can work together.
Yeah, yeah, vision alignment is one of the most important prerequisites, I think, here, right? Because
Yes.
yeah, you can find a who can code, but if he's not fully aligned with your vision and you cannot really explain your vision very clearly to that person, then how can you even align, right?
Exactly.
If you cannot verbalize it in any way.
Yep, I agree with you. I agree with, and that is what I definitely try to do every time. Like, if you wake me up at 3 a.m. and tell me, okay, what about maybe my business, about a problem, and all of those things, I can tell you right from the back of my mind, no, this can work, this should be able to work. Even my competitor analysis, oh no, this should work. But the reason why we are doing this is better than this. So yeah, and then you look out for
Yeah, beautiful.
visual alignment. Yeah, thank you.
So I'm curious about one thing. How
Okay.
would the world look like with Buckstrybe in 10 years? What
That's a
change
big
will you bring?
that's a big question. So to answer that, I'm going to like introduce something that we're currently working on. It's live already. It's a product of Buckstrybe. I call it LendLens.
Hmm.
LendLens. LendLens. So you can, if you check like your Google now, it's just LendLens.ai. And what we are doing with that is, when like after we started Buckstrybe, and we realized that there's a bigger problem.
Hmm.
And as much as we want to build credit profiles for credit invisibles,
Hmm.
we realize that an average person does not, that's maybe trying to get credit or does want to get a loan, they don't know what lenders look out for before they give them a loan.
Okay.
They don't know. They don't know what lenders look out for when they want to give
Yeah.
them a loan. They just understand that, okay, maybe there's a credit score. And even if they apply for the loan and they reject them, they really don't know why they were rejected.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
understand?
And also the lending institutes don't always tell you why, right?
Thank you. So in the next 10 years, what with Boxtribe and with the new product that we are working on or that we've launched already, LendLens, I want every customer or every user, right, of LendLens to be able to see themselves through the lens of a lender. That is like, I want millions of people across the world, in UK, in Europe, in Canada, in US, anywhere there's lending, right? There's lending. I want lenders and users to be able to see themselves through the lens of a lender, like a form of empowerment, right? Like, okay, they understand, oh, they need to do this, why this is not working, because this and this is not working. You understand? So the major goal, the world is going to look like in 10 years with Buckstrybe in it, with our product LendLens, is that an average, like millions of people in the world will be able to see themselves through the lens of a lender. Currently, what we have in the world is when we it's every credit or lending product is built the for the lender, like for banks, for people that want to borrow you money.
Yeah.
The way the way a lender provides you, you don't know. It's only lenders that know how they
Exactly.
profile you. They are the ones that only know the reason why they are not giving you the loan. So we want to flip that, or we are flipping that, so that the borrowers, people that actually requested for this loan, they understand, they know, they see how a lender see, they think how a lender think, and then they'll be able to apply for credit or manage their finances the way a lender will do. So that like it's going to be a win-win for them. So in the next 10 years, with Buckshot in it, we want to build a society, right, or a world whereby people will see themselves through the lens of a lender.
Yeah, very interesting one. I like it. I like it. So you're giving people sight. You're letting people see,
Exactly.
and that is something very beautiful because a lot of people are financially illiterate, and besides that, they have no options. And you should at least know what options you have. Some of them even have options, but they cannot see them, and
Exactly.
I think that is very useful for a lot of people. I love it.
Exactly, exactly. So once every user that uses LendLens understand that, sees that, uses the tool, then I believe I've left, like, the world is a better place with myself and Boxtribe in it. So that's the goal.
Yeah, perfect. Sounds good. And the um, not the last question, but one
Okay.
before the last question
Okay.
that I want to ask you: what if some bank comes and he gives you money and a lot of profit if you move to a certain other direction? Leave this impact. What would you do?
Uh hmm. All right. So now, this is a very big question. When a bank comes, give me a lot of money to leave this impact, or to leave this vision, to leave
Yeah.
this goal. So the question I'm going to ask is the impact that you are suggesting, right? That I should, if you say I should leave, that means I'm leaving this to this. I'm leaving point A to point B, right? So I will first analyze the point B that this bank or financial institution wants me to go to, right? And ask myself some questions. Does this impact, my approach to solving the problem that I just mentioned to you is just my approach. It might be limited, you understand? So if I have, like, maybe a bank or a big financial institution that has more resources, right? That has more data, that has more reach, right? And then they are telling me that point B gives me a similar impact, but a bigger approach or a bigger reach. You understand? I can consider that, right?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
where you are taking me to is more important than the reason why, like, we are going there. So what's the future that you're trying to make me see? You understand? Yeah, I get the financial part, the funding part, the, like, give me a lot of money and can be rich overnight and all of that. I get that part. But what is more important to me is the approach that you want me to see. So I understand that I may be limited to the way I see things because it's just me, it's my approach. So if a banking or financial institution is saying, okay, they want to give you more money, they want to give me this, they can't sell, I won't sell my solution based on the money that they want to give me. I'm going to sell it based on the impact, like, that you, or the vision that you have for that particular business. So to answer your question, I think it's more like a yes or no. It depends on what, like, the financial institution or the big bank, their vision for what we've been doing for over the years. That's what is going to determine. So if it's not going to if it's going to affect maybe the consumers or the people I'm building for negatively, then it's a no for me. I won't do that. I won't do that. I won't do
Yeah,
that.
interesting. So you're not per se fixed to this way of making impact. You're saying if there's another way that uh, is provided to me where I can make better and more impact,
Exactly.
then that would be my choice, right?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, you're spot on. So I'm not spot on like just on my ways. I you just
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no. I'm really open-minded to like, okay, you guys have more resources, you understand how this thing works.
yeah,
If you are selling that to me, I'm like, oh, okay, and I can see the process. I cannot see where our maybe 10 steps can turn to 10,000 steps within the short
yeah.
period of time. Oh, definitely. Let's do that. Let's do business. So
Yeah,
yeah,
beautiful, beautiful.
yeah,
Yes, that would be a collaboration to increase the impact.
exactly.
Beautiful.
Exactly.
Tope,
Yes,
I want
please.
to thank you a lot for this conversation and all these insights you have given to us. We're unfortunately out of time,
Okay.
but I really enjoyed our conversation. So I
Mhm.
want to ask you the question: how can we follow you in your journey?
All right, like I said, the first thing that you can follow me in my journey, we you can check LendLens.ai on your Google Chrome and like on Google. That's the platform that we are actually really working on as a company. And the goal is to make it easy for people to be able to see themselves through the lens of a lender. We started with analyzing your credit card statement. It's live. You can check that out. You can follow me on LinkedIn, Tope Akande, and yeah, you can also sign up for my newsletter. We have a newsletter that we share. So you can sign up for the newsletter. I can share the link with you so that anybody that wants to sign up for the newsletter can easily sign up. And then they are going to be getting a bi-weekly newsletter for how lenders see them. I call it the lens, you understand? So how lenders see them and then yeah, pick it up from there.
Beautiful. Thanks a lot
You're
for this
welcome.
pleasant conversation.
You're welcome.
And I hope to talk to you soon.
Yeah, same here. Same here. I hope
Have a, lo-
I hope to talk to you soon.
have a
Thank
lovely
you.
day ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Bye bye.